I wanted to ask about Kayla McBride and just the crazy season she's having this far into her career. I mean, is it, from your vantage point, just kind of fun and cool to watch how the success she's having at this point in her career?
It is really fun. She's shooting like almost 50% from three, which is just wild. And it's so fun every night. You can tell she's having a blast, and so are we. And it's, I mean, obviously amazing for our offense. It just spreads the floor so much, so it's been great.
You guys have been able to win in so many different ways this season, but especially when you have kind of a cold start to the game, but you still have 5 in double figures, you're still able to grit out a win. I mean, how significant was that with the depth we've seen from this team?
It's huge, and I think exactly like you said, it just shows how much depth that we have, that if one person's off, we have 6 other people that can step up in their place. And so it's really fun to play that way, and it makes it so hard to guard and so hard to beat.
Cheryl said before last game that you're playing at not just an MVP level, but a Defensive Player of the Year level. How is this year different for you in terms of the load that's on you? Because Cheryl's also talked about last year, so much scoring on you and how much you had to carry, but also with that depth, how it's different for you to be able to perform on both ends and how it's different.
I think it just opens things up more because before I think teams were able to double a lot more and focus a lot more on me, but we have so many scoring threats that you can't do that. If you're doubling me, someone else is open and they're going to score. And it's like that for anyone on the team. It's really hard to put more than one player on them because everyone else is such a threat. So I think, again, that's why it makes it really hard for teams to guard us.
Along those lines, you have a career high in assists this season, and that would make sense based on everything you just said. How much emphasis did you put in on that part of your game and just working on passing and seeing the court this season?
A lot. I think it helps in so many ways. Like, obviously, it gets my teammates open. It hurts the defense a lot, too, because if they're putting 2 people on you, you have to be able to pass out and not get a turnover, and so it exposes them in that way. And then obviously, just like, I think we're such an unselfish team. Most of our baskets are assisted, so it's really fun to play that way, and it's so hard for, like, how do you scout that? They're going to move the ball. We're going to move the ball so much. So it's just, I think it's been amazing for our defense how much assisting we have.
And I feel like that's not something you work on. You don't, the typical way like you would work on your shots. You get up a bunch of shots. You don't get a bunch of passes off to work on that. So what is the sort of strategy that goes into, as a team, upping assists, as an individual upping assists?
First, reading the defense, like knowing what they're going to be doing and taking your time, not trying to get rid of the ball as fast as you can, kind of seeing where the openings are. And then also your teammates need to move for you. So we've really worked on offense, making sure we're in open spots, cutting, making sure that the other player who has the ball can see where you are.
With this season being so different from past seasons, with you guys having the slow starts and then catching up, right now with you guys kind of stacking wins, what are some of the things as a leader that you kind of have to be aware of like, yep, we're playing well, we're winning, but what do we need to expect from teams coming in here?
We're getting into where we're playing teams more than once now. I think there's only one team we haven't played, maybe 2. And so it's harder every time. I think we saw that with the Phoenix game. We just crushed them at home, and then they came back and responded, and everyone's going to do that. So we're expecting the same from Atlanta tonight. We exposed them in some areas, so they're going to come back and fix those things and come back a lot harder. So making sure that we're not taking it into account at all the game before and coming in with the mindset that this is a really hard team. Everyone we play is a really hard team, and we have to treat them accordingly.
Do you feel like you're being treated as a hard team? Like people have raised their play against you guys because you're one of the top in the league? You feeling that? I
do feel that. I think we're getting a lot more just attention in that way, and teams are coming in ready to play because we have proved ourselves so far this season. We're first in the West, 3rd in the league right now, and so you have to kind of give us that respect, and I think we do feel it.
Specifically for you, do you feel it, the defense? Are you feeling kind of teams doing different things or trying to come up with different ways to slow you down?
Yeah, I definitely feel it packed in the paint when I get the ball. I'm getting double teamed or there's people just bodies everywhere. So I do feel that. So that's something I'm working on too, is like you said, passing out, especially in this game. They're going to pack the paint. That's what they did the first time. So making sure I can score in different ways, getting my teammates open, using that against them. If they're packed in the paint, that means the perimeter's open.
We saw that on Monday, big time. Of course, Dallas is a big team. How did you handle your frustration of your shot not going in?
Just sticking with it. I mean, it's really hard to miss layups, like shots. Those are the easiest ones. So when you miss those, you work so hard to get there. It is frustrating, but I got in the gym yesterday, and that's all you can do is rely on the work that you put in. I know it was an off game for me. I know that's not who I am as a player, so just brush it off and on to the next one.
it just sounds cliche, but how much fun winning helps, but just how much, from the outside looking in, watching the games, it looks like you guys are just having a blast. And is winning a byproduct of that?
I mean, yeah, no, we are definitely having a blast. Winning helps. I've been with this organization for my 4th year. I mean, we started 0-6, 0-7. We know what it feels like to lose and like kind of dig ourselves out of a hole. So, you know, kind of being on top and finding our groove early, it's been a lot of fun. You know, obviously, like you said, winning helps, but I just think our camaraderie, our chemistry, and how organic it's been since day one is just kind of like the ingredients, the main ingredients for what you see on the court. You know, we're genuinely happy for each other when each other does well. We love winning. We love playing at home. And I think we just have a certain like edge about us, a certain chip on our shoulder, individually and collectively, and that just translates to good basketball and a lot of joy.
I saw one of the experts say you might be the most underrated player in the WNBA. How do you wear that? Do you kind of like maybe that you fly under the radar? I mean, everybody wants to be on the marquee, but do you kind of like that you might be able to sucker punch somebody every now and then? I'm
kind of used to it. It's kind of fluctuated throughout my career. I've had really, you know, solid moments where I felt like I deserved something, maybe more, and then, you know, kind of stagnant a little bit. It's a part of the process. At this point, like in my career, I think I just enjoying where my feet are. You know, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me what anybody thinks about what I do in the basketball court. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I've grown into on and off the court. So I'm just kind of just consistently showing up as myself and letting that be enough.
What have you noticed from defenses and coverages against you this season, especially since you had that huge spurt of those 2 games?
Yeah, I think it's just more so that extra rotation. So like we obviously do a great job. Fee is one of the best players in the world, right? So she gets a lot of attention, a lot of gravity, we say. And so when she's able to do that and the ball kind of spits back out, normally there's an extra rotation. Nobody's leaving for that extra rotation as of late, which just sucks. Those are my favorite shots. But it's okay. That means I'm doing my job. But I hope that comes back around, circles back around. But I'm still able to find my shots, which is incredible. I feel like I've done a pretty good job just trying to move in, get to the spots where I need to get, but also my teammates just being able to find me in the right spot, right time. I think they've learned, especially Court, like Courtney's kind of learned where like the ball timing-wise. Fee already kind of knew, so it's just finding my way. You know, I'm not really trying to force anything or do anything spectacular. I'm just kind of out there taking the shots that I know I can make.
You've had consecutive games now where it feels like teams are just bringing it to you, like gritty, scrappy, trying to knock you guys down. Do you feel that kind of target at this point, and how do you guys kind of deal with that too as one of the top teams right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think early on in the season we've gone into other arenas and won games on other home courts, and teams don't like going back and watching film in those scenarios. So when they come in here, they're trying to pop us here at home. So we know we have to have another layer of that edge to us, especially at home, to protect our home court. And we know teams are going to come and try to pop us. So I think it's just kind of playing behind it. I think we've been a great team in movement and cutting and things like that, and that's been kind of part of our identity. So when they do pick up their physicality, we just go back to what we've been doing since day one.
Along that same line, I know we're hearing about it more often for various reasons. Is this league more physical than when you got into it?
It's more athletic than it's ever been, for sure. Physicality, I don't know, Elena Beard, Tamika Catchings, those defenses were a little bit different than I think than now. But I just think the athleticism, the pace that the game is played at, there's way more 3 balls. You know, 4s are basically guards. You know, you look at Fee, she's inside, outside, three level scorers. It's just so dynamic now, and that translates on the defensive end. A lot more shot blocking, a lot more switching. It's just changed a lot. So I wouldn't necessarily say physicality, but I would say the athleticism is off the charts.
The starting 5 has been so good. Then when you guys have your bench step up like they did in the last game, how critical is that going to be down the line for you guys to be able to trust and be ensured that those bench players can come in and be efficient?
Oh yeah, it's huge. Just keep instilling confidence. I thought T came out finally. You know, it's like kind of like getting a monkey off her back, just in terms of being able to score the ball and just be impactful in the way that she wants to be. But it's everybody. Everybody's kind of had their moments. Ollie's had her moments. Chechi, Dorky came in and was like shooting 3s, and she thought she was a 3 last game. So I just think that continue to instill confidence in them. I think we have one of the best bench in the league. On top of our starting 5, I think our whole starting 5 is capable of double digits collectively or individually on any given night. So when you add a bench that's able to kind of be spark plugs in different ways, defensively and offensively, it makes us really dangerous. That's the one of the key ingredients to a championship team. So I think that they've been holding it down. And you know, when you come out of the game and you're up 7 and you go back in and you're up 18, you know that also helps a lot.